A lot of news, Janet Yellen and the new housing data out. So let's go right to the man himself, Robert Shiller, with the reaction. First, Janet Yellen and this sort of war within the Federal Reserve, Robert. It's pretty clear that some of these folks aren't singing from the same hymn sheet, and they think rates should be higher. There should be 3 or 4 rate hikes. Janet Yellen seems to maybe trying to reassert herself today, and the market happy with it, but not exploding to the upside. Who's right on this?
Well, it's probably a good thing that people are expressing different opinions. It's a sign of a healthy discussion. This is an unusual market. We've never had an experience before in the history of the Fed where we had basically 0 interest rate for years and years. You know, it would seem like interest rates should come back to normal. We could experiment with more than 2 25 basis point rate hikes, and it wouldn't be a catastrophe. But I think it's a close call because nobody really understands why this world economy is as weak as it is.
Well, I think I understand that no matter who you are, whether you're a communist, socialist, democracy, these governments keep buying time, and the damage beneath the surface or the ticking time bomb only gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I want to go switch those gears because the housing data was surprisingly strong. I mean, I think up 5.7%. How does housing continue to run so much further ahead than people's wages? And how do we reconcile that?
Good question. You know, that's not just for the U.S. People have been saying that about China, Australia, Canada for years. You know, these markets are, I think, substantially driven by psychology. And the psychology now is a little bit hard to interpret. You note that the cities with the biggest price increases are successful tech entrepreneurial cities in many cases. So maybe it's some sort of, people kind of believe in these markets as their salvation or their hope.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. New York City, the city I'm sitting in, is just certainly an anomaly. You know, they're selling these they're building 100-story apartment buildings, condos, and they're selling them for $100 million, but a lot of them are being sold to foreigners. I think it's a way of getting the money out of these countries, but you always wonder how long it can last. We were told the second shoe was going to come down in 2009, 2010, 2011, so maybe people just don't believe it anymore. And is there anything wrong with the average person, however, thinking that home ownership is still a cornerstone to a long life and a sound investment, because that's gone away too outside of cities?
Yeah, but people aren't as impressed by homes anymore after they saw how they collapsed in price with the financial crisis. So it's not such a clear case. I don't think people are as impressed by big McMansions anymore as they used to be. But the other thing about housing is that if you put yourself into a mortgage and you pay it off, you're putting yourself into a saving program. A lot of people don't save outside of some kind of a discipline device like that.
Right.
So in that sense, housing is a good investment.
Before I let you go real quick, you have a special way of measuring the evaluation of the market. It's been reading oversold for a long time. How should investors
the stock
proceed?
Market.
Stock market, yes. How should investors proceed in the stock market? Sell everything or play it close to the vest?
I would say definitely not sell everything. I think the market is pricey. I have a price-earnings ratio called CAPE, for cyclically adjusted price-earnings ratio, and it's getting close to 26, which is high by historical standards, but not record high.
Right.
So I think that one should be cautious. Also, U.S. is one of the most highly priced countries. So, this is maybe a time to think about diversifying internationally.
All right, well,
Europe is cheap now.
Yeah, a lot of investors have been doing that, though, and taking money out of this U.S. market.
Yeah.
Robert, great stuff. We appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.